All right, good afternoon. Today is July 25th, 2019, and it is approximately sometime near 5 p.m. I don't know the exact time. I'm just really bad with that. Oh, it's actually 4:21 p.m. Just checking in to give you a brief update on the targeting and the directed energy attacks every day. Since I made the live broadcast on my husband's profile um, recently, a lot has changed for the better. They are still doing their laser attacks, but they're very mild and they seem to be a lot less frequent and they're not nearly as intense as they have been. I'm still being scanned, which I haven't really talked about. And, the machines are over us all day and night watching us, and I'm still being stalked when I use the bathroom, but not as often. It's a lot quieter, even though there's still a lot of tapping and banging all around us every day. Why? I don't know. In the shelter it was going on, and now it's going on here. So it's a pattern. Don't know what they're doing, but they're obviously doing something, because I've been getting attacked for 2 years or more now. No, it's more than 2 years now. So with the directed energy, the harassment and all that other stuff has been going on for a long, long time. The on-foot perps, they're still around. They're not as visible or as active. They're being a lot more subtle with the on-foot attacks. I had a hearing with unemployment and Whole Foods, and I was attacked when I was encountering these particular individuals, the attorney and Michael Tannenbaum is his name, and Aileen, she's using the last name Witherspoon, who is representing Whole Foods. In their presence, I was getting symptoms during the hearing in the presence of a judge, administrative judge. That was last week, and I'm still getting, mild attacks when I'm on the subways, but I don't know who the perps are. They're being a lot more clever, I guess, and they have a certain range from which they can attack me. So they don't have to be in the same train car or subway car. They can be in the next car to aim it at me. And now, the way that the subway cars are made, you can see from one car straight into the other one. So I'm busy minding my own business, and somebody spying me out in the next car. They can aim lasers at me long enough to hit me in my head and cause pain, discomfort. But it's not nothing compared to what I was dealing with these past 2.5 years, every single day, around the clock. I'm going to continue speaking out. I'm going to continue doing my spiritual work, and hopefully this will come to an end and we can resume a normal life. They'll stop tampering with my finances, my jobs, my income, my housing, the quality of life, because that's what they're going after. They're going after my quality of life, my sanity, my name, my reputation, my credibility, and only God knows what else. But they have put a lot of money and effort into the activities, and I have tried to document as much as I could, but I'm telling you, it's just way too much stuff to report every single day. It's very draining going over the crap that we are put through on a daily basis. It's just I have a life to live and a family that I try to take care of to the best of my ability under these raggedy, wicked circumstances. So um, I make no apologies for my behavior, my attitude, or anything that I have said or done in an effort to survive, with little to no support in addressing this in particular. Um, there are a few people who have tried, to encourage me, not fully understanding what this is, minimizing it, and completely dismissing information that's being given to them about what's happening, the attacks, and how deep the rabbit hole goes and who's involved, et cetera, et cetera. Listen, it has never been easy to be in my skin, not one single solitary day. But I will say this. I would rather be me going through this than anybody else on planet Earth. I'm happy that I am still sane. I'm happy that I'm still standing. I'm happy that I still have the love and respect of my household. Everybody else is secondary. If you respect me and you love me and you get me and you understand that I am the real deal and what you see is what you get, and I don't make up crap, and I don't want your attention, I want justice, then fine. If you don't get it, that's on you, because God forbid, this shows up in your doorstep, you're going to truly want somebody to be able to relate to you, to respond to you, to advocate for you, and treat you like the person that you've always known yourself to be, which is a person of sound mind and body, a person of probably at least average intelligence, if not more. I think I have above average intelligence, though I'm not the smartest person in the room ever. Haven't been, and probably never will be. Don't want to be honest. However, it is frustrating when people insult your intelligence, especially concerning your own life and your own experiences. And in trying to, tell people what's happening, it's very challenging, because people, they ask you questions that they wouldn't normally ask under other circumstances when people are doing things to harm you. I've shared other things that have happened to me in my life, sexual assault and other types of abuse. And nobody ever asked me why me. Nobody ever asked what did I do to cause this. Now that, I'm telling you want to push some buttons, that one right there. Like, I've been getting attacked just for breathing most of my life. I've been hated on, and I've been ganged up on by a bunch of cliquish, raggedy old folk who probably don't like themselves very much, and they just can't handle anybody. I don't know. Anybody who's not like them. I can't think for these people. I cannot think for them. I cannot understand the shallow end of the pool. It's never been my experience. So for people who are concerned and they ask me these questions, I mean, I cannot be expected to think for criminals or people who will participate in such activities to destroy my life. I cannot think for them. And the questions you are asking, I cannot reasonably be expected to answer. Okay? It's not up to me to answer those questions. And the thing that really bugs me about it is that you ask the questions in the absence of addressing, one, the grave injustice, the fact that it is a violation of my privacy, a violation of my human rights, my civil rights. You're so concerned about what I might have done to provoke someone, not the fact that my whole life has been turned upside down illegally and unlawfully on a daily basis for over a decade? You're not concerned about that? You're not concerned about the so-called Constitution. We're not even going to get into that conversation. Because if you can't understand what I've been telling you about this program and what they do to innocent people's lives, Constitution and the U.S. corporation and everything else is just going to be way over your head. You're not going to get it until you start going through some craziness and seeing that nothing makes sense. That no boss that has ever fired you can say that you were late or you didn't do your job or you were inefficient. They can't say anything like that. They can't accuse you of actual misconduct. There's no one in your job that can testify against you to anything that you have done wrong. But yet you can't keep a job because people are being paid off to cut you loose, to cut off your income. They're trying to cut off any source of finance to your home, to your household, to make your life difficult. And that's your fault. When you go to work every day, when you're on time, when you meet deadlines, when you're efficient, when you're respectful, you're doing everything that you're supposed to be doing. And I'm supposed to be able to answer why these things are happening. I'm supposed to be able to answer why I started working at 14 and we're looking at 50 and there's $0 in Social Security for me. I have $0. Zero in Social Security. I can show you the paperwork. Zero. Do you know what zero means? Does that make sense to you? Is that even remotely concerning to you? Or does it have to actually be you before you are actually concerned? I'm just trying to figure out what it takes for other Americans to see the red flag, to see something is really dangerously wrong here. I haven't had a tax return since 2011. I haven't received my money. I haven't received any communication from the IRS, even though I have filed papers. Nothing, nada, nilch, nothing at all. Okay, so you need to understand that something is going on. Somebody's using my identity. Somebody's collecting money in my name. Something's going on. I'm being completely cut off. I'm being erased. And that's the bottom line. And there are a lot of movies and a lot of television programs that show these types of things happening to people. And it's very entertaining. But at the same time, it's also very real. And they don't want you to know that. And this is why they bombard you with the technologies that they're using and aliens and all this other futuristic stuff in media, because you are desensitized once you've seen it a bazillion times. You never consider that it might actually be happening, that this may be a very real technology that they're actually using. That this is how people's lives are actually ruined. That you have no clue. You think it's just a TV show, you think it's just a film. Not so. These television shows and these motion pictures are reflecting a lot of stuff that's actually taking place. So hopefully next time someone raises a red flag to you about something that's taking place in their lives, that's affecting them, their livelihood, their families, and they are no criminals, they have no criminal history, and a number of things are going wrong, maybe you'll look at them differently, and maybe you'll look at the situation differently. Maybe you'll advocate for them, maybe you'll speak out. Maybe those of you who are actually attorneys or physicians will take an extra step to help them get the evidence that they need to fight for their rights and to get their lives back. I don't know what else to say, because I've made a number of videos and try to communicate to people as much as possible, but I'm just really exhausted trying to express it. I'm exhausted. So anyway, I'm taking a little time to physically recover. The fact that I'm not being attacked as often has helped. And I feel a little bit more like myself every day, a little bit more, a little bit more. I am, you know, a positive human being, full of life, and I have so many interests, so many things I like to do and I want to do, and I'm going to try and do those things. I've been trying to get to these dance classes for years. I have never made to one class. That's a whole nother story. You know, a lot of things that you try to accomplish, they use the remote neural monitoring to read your thoughts and to block you from anything that you're trying to do. I'm telling you, it's just really sick. But those of us who believe in such a thing as free will, you're going to soon find out that this technology that they have developed actually robs you of free will. And there are some horrible things that have taken place in my life since this overt targeting began, in which I didn't become aware of it until my husband had this stroke and he was no longer in a household with us. But there were a number of things that took place in 2003, 2004, especially 2004 when my husband left New York to Atlanta and my children and I were still in New York. So we're going to be, I want to do it in a very intelligent way and an organized way, not just sit in with the camera on and talk, because then I'm rambling and I'm talking about a bazillion things and there's no context and you can't really put the pieces together. So I want to try and organize what I want to say and go over the events and the people whose paths I crossed and who crossed my path and how they responded during this season of my life, because it could be the key to how and when all this started. What triggered it? Maybe it was something I said or did to piss someone off. Really, this is ridiculous. To even consider that I have done something to cause someone to railroad me and completely throw me under the bus. I haven't committed a crime against anyone. I haven't physically harmed anyone. I haven't attacked anyone. I haven't stolen. I haven't taken anything. I haven't robbed anyone. I haven't set anyone up. I mean, some of you have done stuff and you're not going through what I'm going through. Some of you have been malicious to people and no one has railroaded you or prevented you from working. You're a gossip and some of you are just not nice people and nobody's putting you through this. Zapping you with lasers and attacking your organs and your brain. I mean, implanting things in your body. You're not going through that. And some of you know you're evil. Some of you have committed crimes. You know, I mean, there's just so many things. I mean, you can look at me and try to find as much fault with me as you want to for why these things are happening to me. But you compare me to the rest of society, there are a whole lot of other people who deserve this pain worse than me. So that's not a way to go, you know, in figuring out why this is happening. And it's not even a legitimate question. To be honest, these type of crimes, the question you should be asking is who's doing it, who's funding it, why, and how can we stop it? How are these people being allowed to violate our human rights and our civil rights in the so-called United States? How is that possible? Those are the type of questions you should be asking. And yes, your tax-paying dollars are helping to fund these activities. Okay? I've given you plenty of information, links, and words to look up. So, do your part, and hopefully nobody else will have to go through this. And hopefully you will never, ever have to encounter such a thing. All right, guys, I'm signing off. I'm very passionate about this. I do want it to end, not just for me, but for every innocent human being on this planet. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend.